Hi, my name is Emerald Simmons, and I'm doing my presentation on technology trends in higher education. I am utilizing the 2020 Horizon Report, Teaching and Learning Edition, and we're just going to discuss three different technology trends that are currently infiltrating higher education. The first one of these is artificial intelligence. We're seeing artificial intelligence make its way into learning management systems, student information systems, and one of the best examples I've seen of AI in higher education through reading that report and doing a little research are these chatbot 24/7 student support services that they're creating. One of the great examples provided by the Horizon report was with Griffith University out of Australia. They have created what they call the SAM chatbot for student support. They use this as a way to provide support for students anywhere from library services all the way to answering registration questions. And this is an excellent way to use AI 24/7 student support. It's very important in today's world where students, we're students, we're learning all day, every day, at night, and this idea of providing university chatbots where students can get resources, get answers to questions that they may need, any time of day, any time of night is amazing. I think this is a great way for universities to utilize AI by supporting their students. And also, universities can use this as a way to receive feedback from students about the courses that they're taking. So this is just an excellent example of how AI can be extremely useful, have a high learning impact in higher education. Next is Open Educational Resources, or OERs. I'll admit, even before reading the report, I've heard of these types of things, but I've never really heard it referred to as OERs or Open Educational Resources. And these have been around for a while, but they're just sort of now starting to gain traction. And I don't really know if it's because of this sort of blended online learning environment that's really taken shape in the last, decade, I guess. But there is a lack of information about OERs, and they're out there already for us to use, but if you've never heard of it, you don't know where to access these things. It's really a disservice to educators and students. So I think one of the biggest things moving forward with OERs is getting the information out there to your students, to your faculty, letting them know that there are these materials that they can use. These are freely accessible, they can be used, edited, shared, and this is a great way for students and educators to collaborate, even outside of your personal bubble, globally. This is something that's taken hold. One of the great things about it is there's no purchasing fees, no subscriptions. This is a way that students and educators can save money um, and access resources for free that will help them in their learning and teaching. Educators can access content material, curriculum ideas, students can access peer-reviewed articles, etc., etc. Um, the expert panel for Horizon, the Horizon report, considered this a low-cost, high learning impact um, technology trend, and it supports equity and inclusion because it provides resources to everybody as long as they can access them. There's still not equity of access when it comes to the internet and computers and technologies, but if you can find a way to access them, if the university would provide links for students to these OER resources, like that would be a really, it's a great way to support equity and inclusion. The Horizon report included a great example, and that was the University of Minnesota. They have opened what they called, or created what they call, the Open Textbook Library, and this resource provides over 700 peer-reviewed articles for students and faculty, titles for students and faculty to access for free. No subscription. You can access these peer-reviewed titles. You can utilize them for your research course, etc. I mean, just amazing resource put out by the University of Minnesota. Excellent. Next would be extended reality. And when I first saw this, the first thing that comes to my mind are the little virtual reality headsets for like video games. I hadn't really thought about it in terms of learning and education. But these extended reality, there's a couple of different aspects to it. I'm going to focus on virtual reality, but it provides sort of this mix of physical and virtual or fully virtual environments, or I guess environments for students to manipulate as well. And it's one of the great examples that the Horizon report included was the University of Waterloo using VR to set up a 360 field trip experience for their students who had physical disabilities that weren't able to go on the field trip and do the 2-mile hike that you had to do. So they provided their students with this opportunity to experience the field trip even though they weren't able to go do the hike. And that's just phenomenal. People are discussing how virtual reality is a great tool to support students with disabilities. And really, I mean, everybody can utilize it. It's a great way for students to be put into environments that they're not familiar with and see things that they might not otherwise get an opportunity to see or visualize or put themselves into that position. It's also being used by STEM. They're using it as sort of like an expansion of hands-on learning, thinking about a virtual lab, being able to manipulate aspects of a virtual environment like a lab simulation. So I've actually included a little video here from a university that is using virtual reality and discussing what they love about it. So let's check it out.
One year off on holiday in Lanzarote and found that my phone could actually take photographs in 360. This gave me the idea that actually we could start creating some of these 360 videos and photos to use in research to provide students with different learning opportunities. Using third-party applications to immerse students in different environments to experience childhood education in different contexts. For example, I've been able to place students in the shoes of a Syrian refugee to experience life in a refugee camp, to look at the makeshift environmental structures and educational buildings that they have in those locations. Feedback from students has been extremely positive using the virtual reality headsets. They felt a much more emotionally strong connection to the individuals in the video and also the experience of the environment around them, particularly difficult surroundings. There were other opportunities for them to engage with more modern classroom environments, where there were modern facilities, and they found those experiences interesting as well, and perhaps beneficial to their future teaching career. The second part of the research is to use augmented reality. I'm working with a PhD student, Elfas from Turkey, to use augmented reality in the teaching of biology. In the work that we're doing, students, for example, will be able to hold their tablet over a picture of a skeleton in a textbook, and a 3D model of that skeleton will appear in front of them on their tablet or smartphone. They'll be able to manipulate that environment to zoom in, turn it around, to have a look at the skeleton at different angles. The research we're doing there is to assess the impact it has on student learning. So there'll be two groups that will be working with. One group will not use the augmented reality tools, the other group will use the augmented reality tools. We will assess their progress in learning on this particular module throughout their course. My hopes for the future are that we can use augmented and virtual reality to immerse students in different experiences. By being able to immerse yourself in a 3D environment or to manipulate a 3D environment opens up a wealth of opportunities for learning and engagement that don't currently exist.
Awesome. Well, thank you for viewing my presentation.